Welcome back, everyone, to one of our lesser-known streams, the Chronicles of Darkness stream. We are in Season 2, which is dealing with our merry monsters. We are the Mighty Misfit... I was about to do it, Hank. We are the Mighty Misfit Menagerie, or...
Cast.
We're a mess.
Anyway... we are currently in a childlike dream. Coulter, do you want to go over what happened at the Whispering Pines School for Wayward Youths?
Yeah. So just kind of a double recap here. The last time that we saw our merry monsters when they were still in their adult and present world form, there was an entire sort of dream ballet happening where we almost lost Clay entirely because of trauma that was happening to each of them as the world was kind of closing in. His brother tried to save him and in the process injured him even further. And as Clay was about to leave the group entirely, storming out the door after blaming Owen for the majority of his problems.
Yep, I flipped.
Owen was about to leave Clay.
As Clay had hurt Owen, that was so good until I did that. As Owen was about to storm out after having blamed Clay for all of his problems, this is what happens when one of your characters has two names. They all fell into another one of their signature past trances. This time in a world that seemed very different than any of the worlds that they had been in previously, where a nuclear accident had happened in their hometown, causing the deaths of all of their parents, loved ones, everybody that they feasibly knew. They woke up in the back of a van being transported somewhere outside of the town in Minnesota. All of the kids together, including their friend that they hadn't seen in a while. Name? Their friend that they hadn't seen in a while was, thank you, Chad, the largest of the bunch. And there was a little bit of a struggle as they had reached their destination and the car finally stopped. And in that struggle, Chad ended up flying out the back of the moving van and dying in the process. As the rest of them were eventually brought to the school. In the beginning, they were put into rooms to try and control each of their powers, as they, of course, were trying to scheme and figure out if they were going to have to try to escape or not. They eventually were calmed down by the staff of the school and brought up to what would be their rooms going forward, threatened that if they messed up or tried to use their powers to cause any damage, they would put back in those original rooms. They met a set of twins when they got to those rooms, who were Jim and Jeff. And from them, they found out that this was sort of like a Xavier's school for gifted children, that a lot of the kids had powers. And if you couldn't control your powers, you became marked. And they kind of set out figuring out what that was to mean. So in the process of that, they found out that one of the two twins set things on fire, and that they'd met a ghost of his sister who had the same power and appeared to have died in a fire. They found that evening as they tried to make plans to escape that there were what appeared to be nettle hands surrounding the property, making it impossible to escape or to get out of the grounds without being caught. On the playground, they found out that there was a whole pack of werewolves here that tried to adopt Ruby as one of their own. Ruby made the choice to stay with her friends instead, and that was very kind of her. We were all very happy to still have her with us, but all of them were basically like, you'll come back eventually, because they get free run of the grounds a lot more than the rest of us do. There is a psychologist there who can create mindscapes for all of the children to play in, basically, but also accesses your dreams to try and help with your trauma that we were all immediately distrustful of with no other reason. And we also found out that there are
wisdom,
except for Ruby, who got really excited about the unicorn and stuff. So,
yes. And we also found out that there are things called shushes that go throughout the school, and the shushes played multiple harmless pranks on our group. Turning pages of a book into the scene of a murder, referencing our own dead family members as well as those of our newest young member who he hadn't seen before. And when all of these things come to a head, and we eventually end up having to be evacuated from the room due to the sprinklers being set off. In the cafeteria itself, they are visited by Jack hearing the voice of their mother singing from the prison cells below where they'd been held when they arrived, as well as big green letters being scrawled upon the cafeteria wall, pointing to an escape. They eventually decide that they are going to follow the escape because it appears to also be where their mother's voice is coming from, and in the process find a vent in the wall with the green handprints matching the color of the painting on the wall itself. And as they go down the vent, there are arms and red eyes coming out of the darkness to swallow the children who I believe Clay was at the lead of. And at that moment of utter destruction, they wake up back in their adult bodies.
What? No, that's not what happened.
No?
No, you guys are still in the child.
Oh, I thought we were waking. I thought we were waking up afterwards as adults. I apologize. I was totally wrong.
No.
Well, that's why you keep saying I'm about to die.
Okay.
I mean,
No, you guys are still children. No. We just ended the episode there.
Okay. And as Clay is about to be swallowed by one of the shishes, I think that's where we left off.
It is where we left off. All right. So, Clay, you're sliding forward into these grasping hands, the teeth gnashing and visible in the utter darkness. All you can see is these red eyes and these gnashing teeth. You slide into them and you feel like the coldest cold ever run through you as dozens of these little hands all grip you, and then the ground gives way beneath you, and you realize after a moment that you're kind of hovering over the ground above a room filled with monitors and filing cabinets, and the hands are actually holding you about a foot off the ground when they then disappear and you drop that last foot. For the rest of the party, those who are behind Clay, you see him kind of like lose control in a spin, so you're able to like kind of brace yourself in a way that you don't lose control. But after a few moments of this like darkness, you start to see light streaming out of a steep incline into an open grate that he had fallen through.
Ow.
You only fell a foot.
I'm 8. Ow. However old I am. I don't even remember.
You're 9, yeah. You're 9, Jack is 7, Dell is 5.
That's right.
Claire, are you okay?
Yeah. There's a bunch of monitors and stuff in here.
What do they say?
I guess I would get up and go look around.
Are you looking at the monitors, or are you looking at what are you looking at specifically?
So I'm sorry. So there's monitors, and what
Filing
else?
cabinets, and then there's several kind of like manila files sitting around as well.
I glanced at the files on the labels on the files.
And you're 9, so you're literate, right?
Yeah.
9-year-olds are literate. They know how to read.
Yes.
Okay. I obviously don't have any children. But anyway, so you notice 3 of the files out on the desk have your brother's names on them.
Okay, that's weird. There's some files with our names on them. Like, I don't know. I wander over to look at the monitors.
I'll take a running jump down.
The
So it
hands and the
is-
teeth are gone.
Yeah, completely.
Okay.
I will say it's about a 10-foot drop from the vent into this room.
He didn't tell me, so I'm going to do it.
Huh? Who didn't tell you?
He didn't tell me that there was a drop, so I'm going to...
Oh, but I'm saying you can brace yourself and look down.
Oh,
You
okay.
don't have to slide into it.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. You can move to the open vent without falling into it if you're aware that there's a drop there. The reason it happened for Clay is he couldn't see the drop because of the shushes.
Okay. Then I will still, inch toward it and then drop down.
Make a Dex plus Athletics roll.
8, 1 success.
So you take 4 bashing damage as you kind of like fall on the ground.
Okay, that's cool.
So you're definitely hurt, but nothing's broken.
Yeah.
I kind of try to like drop myself over, dangle, and then drop down from there.
Okay, just give me strength plus athletics.
One success.
Okay, so you just take 1 bashing damage. It's kind of like when you land on your legs from jumping from 2, like just that like pain for a second, but it's not anything that bad. I'm surprised Jack hasn't lowered anyone with telekinesis. That's what I keep waiting for.
I think he's still hesitant to use his power.
Dies, yeah, and they can sense me.
Anyway, so you said you were looking at the monitors, Clay?
Yeah.
So most of the rooms are empty, but in one that's labeled A13, you actually see. Go ahead and give me a perception. So wits plus composure.
Okay, it's a good one. Is it 7, 8, 9 or 8, 9, 10?
8, 9, 10.
2.
2. You see the form of Chad.
What? Where?
In that, on the monitor in that room, A13.
And the room looks like one of the rooms that we were put in originally. Guys, is that Chad?
Up to it. Look.
It looks like it.
Ruby and Owen, you can confirm that it's a like kind of like sitting against a wall, his knees up to his chest, his head down, but it's very clearly the largish 9-year-old form of Chad Jackson.
Didn't
Die.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't kill him or brought him back.
Can I go back to the table and see if Chad has a file there?
He doesn't have one out, but you could investigate the filing cabinets.
Let's do that.
Okay. Give me a, let's just do intelligence plus investigation. It's just a single success because it's just the alphabet, but still.
Am I still outside? Can I climb into the vent? Is it low enough?
I try to push a filing cabinet to under the hole, maybe to help get him down.
Give me a strength check. Just straight strength. I just need to see if you're strong enough to do it.
Oh, damn. 2 successes.
Yeah, so you you push one of the filing cabinets underneath the vent. I do need somebody to give me just a straight D10 roll because that was very loud.
Oh,
6.
shit.
6.
I guess I'll do that. Oh, okay.
6, Mark?
Yep.
Okay. And then Del, with Jack's help, he can kind of lower you onto the filing cabinet, and then Ruby can kind of like grab you from there.
And I'll climb in afterwards.
This also gives you a way of getting out, as most of you are tall enough to stand on the filing cabinet and kind of like jump up and grab it. But
Thanks, guys.
Upper body strength.
You're so brave.
what did you get on your roll, Hank?
Or what?
Your investigation roll?
I got a 1.
1? So you got 1 success? Okay.
Yeah.
So you do find Chad Jackson's file.
I would like to open it.
It kind of just has a bunch of personal information that you probably already know about Chad, like who his parents were, like where he was born, stuff like that. And then it says, when it goes into stuff you don't really understand, there's something that says status Lazarus, recommendation for marking, negative, and so on and so forth. But like most of it doesn't make any sense to you because it's like a bunch of sciencey words. It does mention something about Destiny engine status unknown.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
Not gonna metagame.
If somebody wants to make an intelligence plus academics roll, I will let you know what Lazarus means historically, because I'm pretty sure most of us as adults are kind of like,
Yeah.
ooh.
Well, and also just to remember, I do have a dot in occult too.
This would be straight academics because it's the story of it.
Okay.
Oh, which would be study, right?
Study for you guys. Yeah.
So intelligence -3.
No one has study. No one took study.
Nope, not me.
I have investigation.
Oh,
occult.
I got study.
I was like, I know one of you was smart.
Bro. Dumb,
And
but
I have an eidetic memory, so I never forget anything. So that gives me something, right?
I will give you a +2 to it. But we're trying to see if you ever read it. So, but I'll still give you a +2. Because Lazarus is biblical, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, none of
That
you really
is-
came from biblical families.
Two
Say our
successes.
religious.
2 successes.
Yep.
We'll assume that your dad had a girlfriend for a while who made you guys go to church, and you happened to go to church on a day that they were talking about Lazarus. So you, Owen, remember that Lazarus, and then your actual knowledge of Lazarus, where he was somebody who was brought back from the dead and stuff like that. You can tell the other characters.
I'll share that with everybody.
Do it in character. I want to see how Owen gives the information.
I mean, Project Lazarus kind of makes sense. Clay, Jack, do you remember that time? It was right after Dad made new mom casserole for I forgot her name. But we went. She made us go to church, and they were talking about this guy Lazarus that
Peggy
was like raised. Oh yeah, Peggy. Yeah, she had the hair. It was anyway. No, but yeah, he was like raised from the dead. So maybe they're doing something like that, and that's why we see. That's why
So
we
Chad's
see.
That means
Yeah.
Chad's okay though, so that's good.
Yeah, but if I remember, that didn't end very well. I don't really remember.
I think he was just okay. He came back
that's good.
and was just back.
That's good then, right?
I want to go over to the table and look at everyone else's, look at the brothers' files.
So there's a lot of information in the brothers' files. They have psych evals that kind of like go over your guys' characters, you know what I mean, and a lot of information. For status for Hank, not for Hank, for Clay, they've put down status Merlin, Destiny engine confirmation, yes. And a couple other things, and it says recommendation for marking, and it says yes as well. For Jack, it has Destiny engine confirmation, unclear, status indigo, and then it has recommendation for marking yet to be seen, or to be determined, TBD. And then
Clay
for
was yes.
For Owen, it says status mundane, Destiny engine confirmation unclear, and then it says recommendation for marking, and then it says sacrifice.
Does it say anything good in there?
It just no. I don't know how to read it, but
here, let me try. You're never good with school.
I don't think.
No, let me see it.
Clay, it also goes on to say in the psych profile that before you hand it over to Owen, that it says something about, hey, Owen, do you have a name for your fae, or can I just come up with it?
You can come up with it.
Okay, so it says perfect candidate to be given to the Baron.
What? Outside of game, that's some bullshit right there. Mother of God. I don't think you should read it, Owen.
Why not? What does it say?
I don't know. I don't think we should be reading this stuff. It's going to make us all upset.
Also, is anyone taking notes on all of that information I just gave? Because I will not remember it going forward. So I need somebody to take notes.
I tried, but you went way too fast.
Ask your questions while it's still in my mind. What do you need?
I mean, we can go back and look at the episode afterward.
Sure.
If it's going to make us upset, we should know about it.
As I was backing off to kind of agree with Clay, I'll look at Jack. Yeah, we should. I mean, if we're going to be stuck here, we might as well know what they know about us.
If it's going to make us upset, that's just bad, right? Like we have to know about it if it's bad.
Fine.
Dad always said rip the Band-Aid off. It's going to hurt, but it'll hurt more if you try to do it slow.
I give them to them, and then I start to look for Ruby and Dell's.
Okay, so you guys are handed the files, and then you already figured out the filing cabinet, so it's pretty easy to find Ruby and Dell's file.
Okay.
So paperwork and files and stuff are boring adult stuff. I walk around to more computer monitors. Is there anything I can see that I recognize?
You see, like, most of, like, if you, I mean, make an intelligence roll for me.
You know, we never
Does he have a sheet? Yeah.
went back and made the adolescent sheet.
Use Dell's. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Just use Dell's attributes. That's why I'm not asking for a skill from you, because I know we never figured that out. But
Gotcha. 1 success.
You figure out how to kind of like scroll through multiple cameras, and you realize almost every inch of the property has cameras. So you can like look at your guys' bedroom and the maid's cleaning it. You can look at the cafeteria from like 8 different angles, the perimeter, the playground, everything is on camera. You can even find a camera of you guys in this room currently.
I stop on that one and I start like waving my arms and like, hey, guys, we're on TV, guys.
I
Dell?
run up to you.
Hang on before you do that, Ruby. Dell, as you do that and you're like watching yourself on the camera, for a second, you see behind Owen a tall, gaunt figure with long fingers slowly reaching for him before it like glitches and goes away.
I drop down and do the knees to chest up and I just start yelling.
I'll drop my file before I get to the word sacrifice. Dell, are you okay? And I'll kind of rush over to him and kind of hold him up and just comfort him.
I'm gonna. There's dark.
What happened?
Dark ghosts with us, and I point to the computer.
You don't see anything on the monitor.
It's okay. We can get out of here soon, Dell. It's okay.
It's scary in here.
Are there any controls to any of these monitors?
Just the thing that Dell was playing with, yeah.
Oh, that just scrolls through the feeds.
I mean, there's things to like stop recording and like pause and stuff, but like the greater functions would be beyond you. Because, I mean, you also have to realize that, I mean, you as children don't realize the implications of this, but this technology is way advanced for the time period.
Okay. I kind
Did
of
they ever
go to
get
the
to-
door. Go ahead.
Did they ever get to Ruby and Dell in the notes?
I was waiting for you guys to finish up, and I was going to go back to that. Everyone done?
I guess I would just go to the door to peek out and see if there's what's beyond the store.
I'm just
It's a solid door, like the doors from the cells. So it has kind of like an electronic open and close. So you can open it pretty easily from this side, but you know from your previous experience that it would be kind of loud if you opened it. Like there's no way to open it quietly.
Okay. And I can't see. There's no windows.
You would have to figure out how to make it go clear, like the prison doors did.
Right. Okay.
Which you can make a roll for if you would like. Okay. So Clay, you were looking for Ruby and Dell. So Dell, and I'll go slower this time. So Dell's status is Leviathan. Recommendation for marking, yes. And then Destiny Engine confirmed.
Yep.
And then there's actually a written note next to him saying connection to Blackthorns, ?
Can you go over mine one more time? I'm sorry. Status Leviathan.
Status Leviathan, marking recommended yes. And then I should have
Destiny Machine
notes on all this.
confirmed.
Confirmed, yeah. And then
Connection to
eyes to the
Blackthorns.
Blackthorns.
I had Jack was Destiny Machine undetermined, marking status to be determined, class Indigo, and then I don't think there were notes.
Yeah, there's no notes on yours.
Owen was Destiny Machine undetermined, marking status mundane, class recommendation, sacrifice, notes, possible gift to Baron. And then Clay's I did miss.
Clay
Recommended
was
for marking.
Merlin, recommended for marking, and then Destiny Machine confirmed. Destiny Engine, I'm sorry.
Was my Destiny Engine confirmed?
Undetermined.
It was undetermined.
Okay.
Recommend sacrifice, right? Or that was the mark thing.
For me, yeah.
And then it's just Ruby left.
Yeah.
So Ruby's status is Lupine. Recommendation for marking unnecessary. It says specifically unnecessary. And then Destiny Engine confirmed. And on that one, it says most likely easily controlled, will readdress when she gets to college and set her up in the financial sector.
Oh no. What do we do? What does this mean?
It means some people are watching us and they're trying to control us.
We should set it all on fire. Where's Jeff? We'll go get him. We'll have him do it.
Jack, do you still hear Mom anywhere?
I'll reach out again.
So you're reaching out?
I mean, I'll open the door like I did before.
So when you open the door, you immediately hear, and then in your mind, why aren't you asleep? Where are you?
Shut.
Oh.
Shut. We should go to bed right now. We have to go back to our rooms. We have to go back to the cafeteria. We have to go back to the vents. We have to go back to the... we have to go back to the vents.
Slow down. What happened?
I'm just going to start climbing.
I follow you. I helped Dell first.
I just need strength and athletics rolls from anyone. Dell, as you're being assisted, you do not have to make it because you're basically being picked up. But everyone else who's climbing back into the vent, I do need strength plus athletics.
I'm also snagging my file since I didn't get to finish reading it. And I'd probably try to do it sneakily.
Okay. That would be a dex plus larceny. I think.
Probably watching him.
Then
No.
that would be a wits plus composure.
For me.
I had a chance die, and I did not make it.
So you don't take any damage or anything, but somebody's going to have to assist you. That's all.
I got one.
2 successes for sleight of hand. That has to be beaten by Clay's perception.
You son
Four.
of a bitch.
So you do clock him doing it. It's up to you what you do with that information.
Just shake my head and try to help.
Ruby, what did you get on your athletics check?
Just one.
Just one? All right. So you and Dell get up, no problem, but somebody's going to have to assist Jack.
Strength and athletics.
And from freaking out too much.
I got 1.
Unfortunately, that's not enough successes to help Jack. It's all up to you, Clay. Owen. They're twins. It makes sense that we get them mixed up.
All up to me, huh?
It just means Culture will have to make another roll.
I got
Can I
0
pop a
successes.
willpower?
I got nothing.
Can I pop a willpower?
So, Owen and Jack, you look over at the monitor. Everyone else has gotten back up into the vent, but you see on the monitor several men moving through the hallways. You can't tell for sure that they're heading your way, but they are definitely hurrying somewhere. Make another strength plus athletics roll.
Can I reach down and try to help one?
You may add 1 dice to their pool of your choice. Which one are you helping? Choose your favorite brother, Clay.
It's not my favorite brother who's going to succeed. No offense. Mark's been rolling horribly tonight.
So am I.
So we're going to give it to Mark.
We all knew I was the favorite.
It is his twin.
Freaking twins.
What is that? Does it give me an extra
You have
dice?
1 extra dice.
Just one extra die. Yeah.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
1 success.
Oh,
All right, Jack. Moment of
I
truth
rolled
time.
a 5.
All right. So as Jack is climbing up the filing cabinet, the door opens and the humming man and 2 other men stroll into the room. Jack, what are you doing out of bed?
Jim set the fire alarm off, and there was a shush making a lot of noise, and I followed the shush.
Well, why don't you come with me? Is it just you?
I fell down the shaft.
Oh? And you moved this big filing cabinet all on your own, huh?
And yeah, you know what I can do. I was trying to get back to my room.
All right. So, come on. Let's go.
I'll follow.
Do you go with them?
Yeah.
So as you start to move down the hallway, the rest of the party, you can see Jack led out by these men. Jack, you hear a very far off voice going, "All right, little Jack, you don't know me, but I am a good friend of your family, and I've been watching from afar, from inside your head in the future. And if you need my help, I can help you."
I just nod because I'm afraid that if I say anything, the humming man's going to hear me.
All right, Jack. In this moment, Britannica fills you, and you have access to Britannica's powers for this scene.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit!
Okay. Okay. Cool.
He pulls out a Tommy gun.
Right. Okay. How am I like surrounded by them?
You're following. So there's one guy behind you, the humming man, and then another man in front of you.
Okay. I am going to throw an EMP field to knock out all of the power and plunge us into darkness. And I'm going to use that to try and get a little bit further away from them. Let me double check what I have to roll for that.
It's intelligence plus primum.
Thank you. This is a new one for me. I've never actually had to use this one before.
You should rip the gates and shove them in.
And this does require a cover roll as well.
Okay. What is my cover as Little Jack?
Same as Big Jack.
Okay, 2 successes on that.
Okay.
And then, oh God.
I really hope you fail this cover roll. I really, really want you to.
Two successes on the cover roll.
Damn. All right, so it's plunged into darkness.
I am going to run as fast as I can down the hallway, just away from them, and then rip the gates.
Oh, all right. Rip the gates.
I don't know what else to do. Okay. Or I guess I could left or right my way out of here.
Left or right wouldn't work because it's not just 2 choices. So there's several different options. So left or right won't work.
Okay, rip the gates it is. I'll spend an aether and okay. Sorry, this is get all that together. Thanks, Britannica. We'll see if you kill Little Jack. Strength, occult, and primum.
You can do it.
Okay, 1 success.
All right. Where are you going?
I'm trying to think where, because I have Britannica's brain, I guess, but like, what would Jack understand?
Well, Britannica is the one ripping the gates, so he can make the choice.
Okay,
He's basically controlling Little Jack right now.
Do I have an option for like the ethereal plane?
Ethereal plane is basically just the shadow. So,
Which is probably not really that great. So I can either do the hedge, the shadow, the underworld, and astral realms.
Yeah. So you could do the astral realms. You could do the hedge.
I'll do the astral realms.
Okay. You jump through this gate and you immediately wake up in your adult Jack body.
Oh.
Okay.
That's nice.
And then Britannica in your head is kind of like, well, that's not what I intended, but I guess that also works.
I don't know what you intended, giving the powers of a fucking demon to a 7-year-old.
I was in control the whole time.
Yeah, okay.
Are our bodies just laying there?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go and start trying to wake them up.
They're completely unrousable. Like, if you didn't see their shallow breathing, you would just assume they were dead. Anyway, jumping back to the rest of the kids, you just saw Jack get taken away, and then all the lights go out.
Okay. So, do we go back or do we try to get back to our rooms?
Go back.
Okay. Slide back on down.
Yeah. I'm going to pop my head down to see if I can see anything in the room.
As you pop your head down, that's when all the lights go out. A few moments later, red emergency lights start up. And you hear grown men yelling, and then like a couple of them run past the open door in the opposite direction that they left originally.
They're not here anymore, but I don't see Jack either.
What'd they do to him?
Must have taken him somewhere.
Is Jack
Maybe-
okay?
Maybe we could see on the cameras where they took him.
Yeah, run to the cameras.
Who's
Make
dropping
those
into the
checks
room?
again.
Who's dropping
I'll
into
drop
the
down.
room? Dropping into the room is easier, so you don't have to make a check with it because nobody moved the filing cabinet.
Okay.
So who's dropping down? Dell, you're staying behind.
No way.
I don't want to slow the party down.
I'll stay with Dell then.
So the brothers, you get the cameras working. You eventually see the humming man carrying a lifeless Jack over his shoulder towards the holding cells.
What did he? That's Jack.
What did he do to him? We have to go stop. We have to go save him.
Can we infer where they're going?
Towards the holding cells. Make an intelligence check. Let's just do that.
Straight
You can-
intelligence.
You can add computers.
Yay! One success.
So you can kind of extrapolate using. Oh, okay.
Oh shit!
Both of you can.
That's my bro.
Mostly Owen can extrapolate kind of like a mental map of this place and easily find where the holding cells are. And he was put into A11 is the holding cell he was put into.
That wouldn't be, by any chance, the one that Ruby was held in, would it?
Make a D10 roll. Give me a luck roll.
7.
Unfortunately, it is not.
Shit.
Hey Owen, since you're good with computers, can you control those cells from here?
I can try. I mean, it seems like it's just the cameras here, but maybe.
So with your 3 successes on the computers roll, I will say that there is a functionality for locking down all the cells to where they're only unlockable with like a master key, or you can unlock and open all of the cells. Those are the only options you have.
So wait till Jack's in a cell and then open it.
Yeah, but we have to be there next to it, though, because it looks like he's not too well, Clay.
And you can only do that functionality from this room. So if you leave this room, you would not be able to do it.
How far away is that?
Maybe like 2 minutes walk, 3 minutes.
Are there guards by the cells?
No. Mm-mm. After the humming man drops off Jack, he kind of like goes off to another part of the facility. You lose him on the cameras, so you assume that there's actually a place that is not cameraed at all.
Okay, Ruby, you're the fastest here.
Stick my head out the window, down the vent. What's that?
What if we? Oh, and if you show Ruby what to do on the computer, we make a run for it.
Wait, why wouldn't Ruby, since she's the fastest one, why wouldn't she be the one going to get Jack?
Because I thought we all wanted to go get Jack together.
I can stay behind and do the computer.
And then we come back here? Or where do we go?
Or I can try to figure out a way out, maybe. I don't know. I think we just need to get Jack, and then we need to figure it out from there.
There are walkie-talkies with multiple channels on them.
Okay, I grab one and I get ready to run out the door.
I can't keep up with you, Ruby, but I'll come with you.
Okay, we'll plan to come back here and then leave together after that.
Okay, so we all grab walkie-talkies. Can we figure out a channel that no one else is on?
You spend some time like flipping through them, and you hear chatter on most of them, but you find one that even if you push the button, no one seems to react to.
Okay, so I set up all of our walkie-talkies to that one.
How many walkie-talkies and who has them?
I'm gonna give one to everyone, including Dell.
Yay.
So if we need to tell Dell something, he can hear it.
Do they also have the little earpieces so it doesn't like broadcast everywhere loudly?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
Right, so keep him low, but make sure you can hear it.
Okay, so Ruby and Clay, you guys are heading towards the holding cells, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Dell from the vent and Owen watching on the monitors. You watch them move through the facility. They don't meet any resistance and they get to the holding cells without any problem. But Dell, you start seeing your breath as it gets kind of cold in the room. And Owen, you're looking at the monitors and then suddenly like you blink and you're standing in a forest in the middle of kind of like a clearing, and there's a tree, and you hear a friendly voice go, "Are you lost?" And you can't really remember what you were doing before, and you're lost in the woods, and you were playing with your brother, and you have no idea how you got here. So yeah, you are lost.
I think so. Can you help me find my brother?
Yes. Come with me.
No.
Okay.
We'll find your brother together. And he kind of holds out his hand, which has two long fingers. And you take it. And Dell, you watch as this gaunt, long-fingered, you watch this whole scene where it reaches out and it's talking to Owen. And then you watch him walk back through the door into what you can see from the vent is obviously somewhere else. And then the door closes behind them.
Oh, God.
Into the walkie, I say, guys, Owen just left.
What? The doors haven't been open yet, right?
No.
Okay. So I stop and I guess go back.
You come back to Owen's walkie sitting on the counter, and Owen's just gone.
Dell, what happened?
A weird man hand wanted him to come and play, and it got really cold. And then he just walked away and left.
Oh my God. What are we going to do? We can't open the cells now. And he's gone. They're picking us up.
Both my brothers are gone. I flop on the floor and just kind of lay there because I don't know what the hell to do anymore.
Yeah, I started crying.
What do you want?
Oh, so Jack lied. There
Please
are more.
stop taking people away. Please.
Ruby. And he kind of like kneels down so he's on the same level as you. Don't worry. Everything's going to be okay.
Oh, God, you're all going away.
And you wake up in your adult bodies. But, Clay, there is a searing pain on your back.
Okay. I get up and rip my shirt off and attempt to find a mirror to look at it.
Those of you who observe Clay doing this, you see the exact same symbol that is on Chloe is now blazoned across Clay's back, and it's stretched out as if he's had it most of his life.
What did that symbol do again?
It stopped magic, right? Or something. Oh yeah.
You guys have not determined exactly what it does.
Fantastic.
You're marked. You're marked.
Marked with what?
With the I don't. They said that it was for the ones that were trouble, that were. Oh. You're marked.
Fantastic.
Did that really happen? That place?
It had to have. Look at his back.
But
I mean,
you didn't have that before we fell into that dream. How is this possible?
Britt came back and took me. So whatever this is, it's in some timeline.
Play, try and cast magic. Try something.
Oh, trust me, I'm looking for a spell right now. Hold on.
Britannica, did that really happen? I'll see if I can ask the inner angel.
We're in a bit of a pickle reality-wise. It seems that whatever force is forcing you to see these visions of your past, it is a real and true timeline. And every time you visit that, it seems to change what did happen. Whether it happened that way before, I'm not sure. This is beyond me. I'm sorry, Jack.
Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
Basically.
If you add 3 or 4 more dimensions to that statement, yes, you'd be in the right ballpark.
But we don't know why this is happening. If someone is doing this to us, sending us back, or why? And why would they do that?
Who did we piss off recently that could do this?
Well, for Dell, it's relatively new, but the rest of the characters, they've been dealing with this for a long while. Like, this isn't the first vision they've had. So
Yeah, hence my questioning.
We need to plot this out, if nothing else. We can figure out where the discrepancies are and what is real now versus what wasn't real before versus what is real going forward. Yeah, I can use a board. I can write this out on the wall. Does anybody have a preference? I can just use a marker and start. I have a white room.
How about it?
I will go into the room that Britannica created for us. And in my pocket, a whiteboard marker. And
I grab beef jerky and head in there with you.
in old Jack fashion, start marking out the first timeline that I remember, and then the second, and then the third, and kind of keep trying to move forward as far as I can. So I'll start with, I'm going to make a note of like pre-Jack. So I'll leave like a spot for Britannica that I can let him fill in, and then a Jack timeline, and then a childhood changes timeline, and try to mark everything that I can think of down.
Okay.
I add what I can.
Yeah, whoever wants to join, I will just give markers.
Try to cast a spell.
So even without rolling, your magic works the exact same as it always has. You feel no resistance. You feel no difference. Your magic just works.
I'm still in the boardroom, sitting in the fetal position.
Which room?
The boardroom.
What's the boardroom?
Didn't we request a room from?
No, you guys were in Clay's
desk?
secret room.
Okay.
The dream sequence happened in Clay's secret room, and then you were leaving through his bedroom when you passed out.
Okay, so I'll still be in Clay's bedroom.
So you're passed out right now, or you're like huddled up?
Huddled up.
I go over and sit on the floor next to you and put my arm around your shoulder.
Does anyone seem different to my family resemblance? Does Clay giving off anything else, or is it like the same senses I'm getting as before?
Same senses.
Okay.
With my arm around Owen, what's going on, buddy?
It's just nothing matters. It doesn't matter, Clay. It doesn't matter. It wasn't you that took me to the Baron. He got me either way. It doesn't matter. None of this matters. Someone is pulling the strings behind the curtain and making us play their little game. Nothing. None of it matters.
So that means we can fight back.
And I'll just kind of just lay down in his arms and just start bawling. Nothing matters.
I sit there and hold him.
No, everything matters.
Oh, you're in a different room, Jack.
I'm sorry. This is.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I'm beautiful minding with Ruby in the next room.
Does anyone look anything up? Like, does anyone Google any of the things from the visions or anything like that?
I think
because you said you were checking it against.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think once things were written out, I would try to like find like yearbooks and figure out if because like Jack's memory is graduating high school and everything, like see if that's still there, and then from there start cross-referencing whatever else he can think to look up. Because this is going back to the whole like being a nuclear engineer and having the mindset of like scientific process, keep going through each of the hypotheses and disproving them one by one. So yeah.
So you Google Monticello, and Monticello, what immediately comes up is the Monticello Memorial Garden, commemorating the I guess the incident where Monticello was basically marked off the map when they had a nuclear meltdown in the year 2000.
That's not how it happened.
And having an eidetic memory, that definitely didn't happen. Or at least not in what I have.
This has got to be caused by the same whatever that's doing whatever they're doing to us. Maybe they've been using us this whole time to facilitate whatever this is, this God, destiny, engine, whatever.
And we have the kid that was trying to fuck with my timeline using my own body. But that was before that, so I don't know if he was connected because he didn't show up in that vision. And also,
the kid has told you in the past that he was taking advantage of that situation, not necessarily causing it.
But he's connected.
He took advantage of it, but he did not create it. He has told you that in the past.
I will make another like column on the side that's like body hitchhikers, Jack, line Britannica, line undisclosed child. Parentheses ominous.
Do I recognize Destiny Engine at all?
You guys are still in another room, but if you come in here.
But I mean, just thinking back over what happened.
You can make a very difficult occult plus intelligence roll. It's at a -4.
Oh, God.
If somebody can tell me the files, I will write all of those on the wall as well. Like our names with what we were classified as underneath them.
As adults, it's pretty clear that those reference what you eventually became. With the exception of Jack.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on me augmenting that skill
Augmenting how?
with a spell? I can totally do.
If you want to do it, yeah. It's still at a -4, so.
I'm intrigued now.
Ruby,
Yes.
what does it mean that Clay and you and Dell are confirmed and Owen and I are not? I mean, they called him mundane, which is obviously wrong.
Confirmed. I don't know. What could that mean?
What are you Googling, Del?
I'm going to Google Destiny Machine or whatever it was specifically called.
Anyway, Ruby, you were saying?
Maybe it has something to do with. Well, no, because your powers were innate long before any of ours were manifested. So I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the part that we're all playing in this destiny. And
so what's unknown about Owens then?
well, he was given to Faye. Oh God, this doesn't make any sense. And
So -4, sorry.
it indicated that I was always going to end up on Wall Street. How? Oh my goodness. What if none of our actions have been our actions since this explosion?
Well, no, because you know that the way you went to college was the scholarships that you got plus your mom's helping you. I mean, that wasn't some made up idea.
My moms are dead. They're dead now. No. Oh no.
Oh God, there's been several deaths. And I'm just going to go start making lists of like each multiple deaths that each of the people have had, because everybody's died multiple times at this point. This is, I'm sorry, I just have to get this down.
I need a minute. And I go into my room.
Hank? 2 successes?
3.
3. So you remember a very obscure book that you were reading at the Library Arcane when you were in your training phases that mentioned a theoretical destiny engine, a part magic, part machine kind of supercomputer that could literally read the destinies of a person. But the paradox involved was like massive. So no one has ever really attempted it.
So it was a theory about something being built that wasn't an actual thing that existed.
Yeah, it was a theory that was written in like the 1800s by not the Seers of the Throne, but the one that seeks knowledge.
Oh yeah, those fucks. The evil ones?
No. They're the good guys. It's not the Guardians of the Veil, but the other one that's based on knowledge, but they're more about getting knowledge. I can't think of their names right now, but.
Oh God, yeah, I know what you're talking about. And Mysterium. Yeah,
the Mysterium, but they deemed it too dangerous and turned it over to the Guardians of the Veil. All notes on it.
Ah, okay.
So the Guardians of the Veil are in possession. That's why you were able to read about it, because the Guardians of the Veil. That's one of those things that like like it's supposed to be shut down because it's a very, very, very dangerous to the fabric of reality.
Okay.
Del, you Google Destiny Engine could you make a wits plus computers roll for me?
Absolutely. That is 2 successes.
So after scrolling through about 5-6 pages of Google results, all kind of dealing with video games that have either Destiny or Destiny Engine in them in various forms, like be the engine of your own destiny, play World of Warcraft kind of stuff, you eventually find a clip from a forum post from like 2004. And when you click on that, the servers are still up, and it was people discussing this secret society that no one really has a name for. They're calling it the Indigo Coalition is the forum's fan name for it. And one guy said, if basically puts in, I found an old army file about something called a Destiny engine that's supposed to have something to do with Whispering Pines. But Whispering Pines is impossible to get into, so I had to give up my research.
We were there, man. We were there.
Interesting. Hey,
Yeah.
guys, whose status said indigo?
We're all in different rooms, so where are you going, bud?
Oh,
Oh no, he went to the room with you guys. So you're with Ruby
okay.
and Jack.
I went to my
Ruby
room.
left.
So
Oh,
you're just
okay,
with Jack.
so just Jack. Jack, whose status said indigo?
Me.
Do the words Indigo Coalition mean anything to you?
Britt, you got anything? Just gotta get used to fucking talking to myself, I guess.
Wasn't the girl that you saved somehow something indigo? I wasn't paying too close attention, honestly.
Girl that we
It was
saved.
The blue children. There was like a reference to blue children, but
Where is she?
He was
Where
in
did
the
we leave
boardroom.
her?
She's in the hospital
boardroom?
inside the annex.
Del, you want to go on a field trip?
Yeah, that might be the best idea. This, and then I show Jack. This Indigo Coalition was doing some research. It's kind of seems fan made, but some theories have been made. Also, what was that place we were at? Whispering Pines?
Yeah.
Because apparently it's a fortress of sorts.
So that means that her father could have like kidnapped her from there, which means that he might know a way in, except for that we killed him. But maybe she would know how to get back. Let's brainstorm this.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go. Are they in Owen or Clay's room?
They're in Clay's room.
I'll check Owen's room first, see that they're not there, and then go to Clay's. We might have a lead. Apparently, Whispering Pines is entirely like just walking into the room talking, entirely impossible to get into. But if the little girl that we took from the apartment building before it blew up was actually from there, and her dad took her from there, even though he's dead, we might be able to find another way in there based on how she knows that he got her out. And she's here.
Oh. Start over. Breathe. What's going on?
So Del,
We have to go back to Whispering Pines, is what he's saying.
maybe they know whatever this Destiny engine thing is that it has Owen and I unclassified. I'm not exactly sure what that means as far as if that's what's causing us to be unstuck from time, or it just hasn't figured out what our destinies are to this point, but it seems like it must be connected to there.
Okay.
Stand up, brush off my shirt. Well, since there's obviously something pulling the strings, I suppose that we either get into Whispering Pines or we die, depending on what they want us to do. So let's go.
If it's any consolation, we're unclassified.
It's because we died at a young age. And I'll walk out to my room.
Well, I'm gonna go check on our friend. I'll get Ruby.
Are you going to Ruby's room?
I wasn't sure if anybody else had anything to do, so I'll go to Ruby's room and knock instead of barging in like I did on the other two.
Probably next to you, also realizing that taking Ruby is the best idea.
The two awkward people, the one who's like really socially good and the one who's just like buzzing brain. Just like
I rip open the door. I've completely destroyed my room, and I look really haggard, but I've got a gas can in one hand, and I say, let's go burn that fucking school to the ground.
well, first, no offense whatsoever, but you have a good rapport with the child, so maybe we get this put back together to talk to her so that she doesn't explode again. Remember the child that can destroy the universe?
Hey, beautiful. I like your plan. I like that actually more than my plan. Our plan, and I point to Jack. But Rubes, you're the only one that can talk to Chloe, and Chloe might have an answer or two.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I know that's asking a lot.
Great.
And then I kind of put my arm around Jack and pull him in. I'm like, we have good ideas, please.
Let's go see her. Maybe she will know some things.
Can I take that for you? I'm reaching up for the gas can. Gently.
I'll give it to you.
Setting it down.
I sprint down there.
Chasing after her.
So as you approach the hospital room, you hear a commotion and large snarling noises.
Oh, man. Okay, well, I charge in there.
So you charge in, and the first thing you see is Chloe, her hair kind of floating, her eyes glowing, and she has her hands out like this, and there's several like of those black rips. And you see Tiana, her eyes blood red and her fangs fully out, being held against the wall by these strange creatures that are seemingly made out of bone, like basically constructed out of skeletons of several creatures, pinning her to the wall.
My sister, you bitch.
Okay, so now that we all understand that there's timeline fuckery, that's not our sister.
Once a black thorn, always a black thorn.
She wasn't part of the pack ritual.
All right, I take the statement back. No, I actually don't know how I would feel about her in all honesty. Like,
Yeah,
my
it's
brain's so
hard to-
dead right now.
So just to be clear, Clay, Ruby, Jack, and Dell went down, but you're still in your room.
There you go.
Jack, we're gonna get into that in just a second. Don't think I'm gonna forget that.
Oh, no, I am comfortable talking about it, but yeah, let's let Ruby do her magic. I have faith in you.
Chloe. Sorry, go ahead.
I have faith in you.
Chloe looks towards you and she's like, she's a vampire. She was going to drain my blood.
I'm so sorry. Wait, she's my friend. Maybe it was a misunderstanding.
And Tiana looks at you and she's like, this little bitch better let me go or I'm going to rip her throat out once I get out of these fucking creatures.
I would like to walk over and place myself between her and Chloe.
Chloe goes, are you sure it's okay?
Yeah, I'll stand next to Chloe. I stand next to her and I'm like, yes, Chloe, I'm here. We're going to figure this out. Just let her go.
She strains and kind of like goes like this, and the bone creatures are like broken apart and sucked back into the portals, which then close, and Tiana falls to the ground. And the only thing stopping her from lunging at Chloe is Dell's body as she doesn't plow through him. And she, for a moment, goes, and she puts her forehead on Dell's shoulder and is like, I thought I'd lost you. And then puts her arms around him.
I hug her back, just ask, were we gone for a long time?
I went back to the memories, the dreams, and I was just wandering around and Monticello was gone and I couldn't find any of you guys anywhere. And that's when my sire found me. He used me as a blood bag for a while and then turned me eventually when I turned 16.
I'm so sorry. And I just hug her tighter.
And I came in here and I thought Chloe had something to do with it. And I got upset. My fangs ran out and you know the rest. I wasn't going to hurt her. I just lost control for a second.
It happens to all of us. Ruby has a few questions for Chloe. Let's you and I step out real quick, and I'll fill you in.
Chloe, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
That was really scary, by the way. You are very powerful.
It's strange, but now that Father isn't in my mind, it's so much easier to control. Before it was like two people trying to drive the car, but now it's just me and it's easier. And the things I summon, they listen better. They're not gross like they were before.
That's great. That's so good to hear that you feel more in control. You should feel in control. It's your body and you should absolutely feel in control.
My back hurts though.
What do you mean?
Remember her skin was ripped away when the mark went away. So her skin's pretty gross. Yeah.
Well, it's healing. Hopefully it won't hurt too much longer. I actually wanted to ask you about that. You used to have a mark there. Do you remember that?
Father told me it was a birthmark. It's something you're born with.
It's something you always remember having?
Mm-hmm.
And now it's gone. You don't feel any different other than more control?
Well, before Father, he was able to, he had this stone, and with the stone, he was able to drive the car of my powers. And now I'm in control of them and I use them right. He didn't understand how to use them right. That's why it was always wrong.
I immediately look at Jack like with really wide eyes. And I'm like, oh, and then I look back at Chloe. Oh, okay, Chloe. Okay, Jack, did you have any other questions that you wanted to ask her?
Chloe, my brother Clay he has the same birthmark as you. And
Is that unusual?
it's a bit unusual, yeah. It's not a lot of people have that.
I've
And
only
you're-
met one other person, so.
Who did you meet that had it?
Oh no, I mean, I've only ever known Father. I've
Oh.
never met other people.
Well, my brother has the same birthmark, and I guess I have a couple of questions if you're okay answering them. Do you remember the name Whispering Pines?
I have a book like that.
A book like
I
that?
have a book called Whispering Pines.
Do you have it with you, or was it in the apartment?
It was in the apartment.
What was it
Okay.
about?
It was about this place, and children would go there, and the place would help the children with all of their nightmares, and then the children would be happier. And yeah, I didn't read that one much. It wasn't. I didn't like it. It didn't have princesses or dragons or anything in it. Just children following rules, and there was a lot of rules listed in it. You know, like don't leave your room at night and stuff like that, and stuff. You know.
Did Father ever have another name besides Father?
I only ever knew him as my father.
And
Does he like to hum a
But
lot?
you're also a father. But you're Father Jack.
Ruby, I think that was a good question, I think.
Does your father hum a lot?
No,
I will.
he says naughty words a lot.
I think
Do
we all do sometimes.
you know if your father could he do anything on his own, or could he only use your powers?
I don't think my father had any powers, no.
Okay. I really would love to help my brother, Father Clay. I'm worried that somebody might.
Is he a blue child too?
What does that mean?
Oh, blue. So I heard Father say it a few times that I was a blue child. Well, he used a different word, but it's just a shade of blue. So I just
Indigo?
shortened it to blue child. Yeah.
I'm indigo.
So you're a blue child?
Yes. Yeah.
So you can do stuff with your mind.
I'll just like gently raise the chair in the corner off the ground and set it back down.
Do realize that doing that, your arm changes to do it.
Yes. I think for me, it was that because I don't get the ratchet gun.
I know, but it visibly becomes Britannica's arm for you to use that power.
Yeah. Hmm? Yeah. So like I can show you, set it down and then shake it off.
I can't do that. All I can do is open doors.
I can open doors
those-
too.
Bone things.
Those are
can't
my friends.
control. I can open doors. I just can't make friends come through them.
I can. That's all I can do.
So you're bringing things from the other side over when you're scared. They
Yeah,
help
from the
protect
nightmare.
you.
They're from nightmares. I contact nightmares and then I bring them forward and then they protect me. Dad used to use them to do bad stuff, I think, but I don't really remember.
You have
I'm
to
sorry,
be
not
careful.
Dad, Father. She would have said Father.
Chloe, I trust you to use them well, but I don't want anybody to ever try to control you again, but knowing that we maybe have the same powers happening, I would just try to use them as little as possible. Don't use them unless you absolutely have to.
So I shouldn't have used them against the vampire?
No, that was fair.
Did I do something?
No,
Did I
not
do
at all.
something
No,
wrong?
not at all. No. I just, don't. If you feel like your life is threatened, that's totally fine. Just don't use them to open a jar, Nothing small, only big.
I can't think of any nightmare that's supposed to open jars.
That's fair. That's fair.
That would be a stupid thing for a nightmare to do. I guess if you were scared of pickles.
I think we need to find out how to take that birthmark off of my brother.
It's a birthmark. You can't take a birthmark off.
Did your book on Whispering Pines show where it was?
There was a shape with a star.
Okay.
Do you think
I
you could
remember
draw the
it.
shape?
I think so.
I'll get her a piece of paper and a pencil.
So it's a very crude, but it's pretty obviously Virginia. And then it has like a star inside Virginia.
Oh,
That was a long distance.
that's
Okay.
so helpful.
Thank you. That's a neat shape. Chloe, how would you like to stay here for a while? Would that be okay with you?
I mean, my back really hurts. And the front desk is very nice. He gets me any snack that I want.
He's a good friend, and he'll make sure that your back starts to feel better. He'll help it heal.
Butterfingers taste different, though.
Better?
Butterfingers? I'm just making a
Butterfingers.
reference that they changed the formula for Butterfingers recently. So
That's fun. It's fun when things get better.
it did not get better.
Things have been getting worse lately.
Okay. Well, I think we should leave you here, but I can write down Ruby's phone number if you ever need to call her.
What's a phone?
Ruby, do you want to
I show her how to use it. Yeah.
We'll
Is
write
there a
down the
phone in this room?
numbers.
I mean, so there would be no way for the annex to call out to the real world.
Sure.
So
I
mean,
give
like,
her. Oh, even if she had a cell phone, can she call within this place, or she'd have to leave?
I would ask the front desk. That's what I would do.
Okay.
Ask the front desk to contact Ruby if you need us.
Oh, I meant to ask the front desk for a cell phone. Or that works too. Like if the front desk can call you. That works just fine.
Okay. And I also ask I tell the front desk what's going on, and I ask them to help her with her back if it's not already been.
Very well.
Okay, so then as me and Jack are heading up,
Stop there.
Oh.
Del, what are you doing with Tiana? Because technically they would pass you at this point.
While they were still in the room, I was kind of explaining to Tiana that we were at Whispering Pines. I had never seen them before. I was remembering just being a little kid and then being tossed in the van. And
What?
then would.
What was Jack saying about me not being his sister? What was that about?
I don't know yet. I'm still figuring out what the hell just happened. I think we went back, lived a new memory, and then when we came back, that memory got put into our timeline. And when that happened, I think something else happened that maybe Jack knows about. But
As you're explaining that, she full on kisses you on the mouth.
Oh la la.
I return the favor.
And then she kind of like, she breaks the kiss and holds your head and goes, I don't know about you, Del, but this is all too much for me. I could really use some time to blow off some steam.
I'm going to go against everything I've ever believed, ever, and say maybe later.
Make a composure plus potency roll, as she has vampire powers.
What is potency?
For you, it would be your lair, I believe.
Okay. This is not very many dice.
Willpower.
No successes.
You know it's a bad idea, but the pheromones in this room. I mean, you can still make your choice, but I'll give you a beat.
Give me a beat which way?
I'll give you a beat if you don't resist it.
Del doesn't have it in him yet to resist it.
And to be fair, she's not using mind compulsion powers on you. It's just her natural vampiric pheromones kind of muddle the brain. So your hormones are on high alert. That's all I'm saying.
They're not the only thing.
That's what I was trying to say, Jake.
He could not erect his defenses.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll give you a beat for it, buddy. Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
So you guys abscond and ... and then you guys leave the room. ...
Where did Del and T go?
Can we trust her? We could trust her, right? She still thinks she's, or does she?
She still thinks
Del,
she's, but that doesn't mean that she's not a vampire.
The front desk who's still with you, Del and Tiana requested a suite room to be added to the annex for a rendezvous. They are very busy at the moment.
Very,
But
very busy.
he's still alive and consenting, right?
As far as I can tell, he seems to enjoy the biting.
Front desk,
Okay.
I don't mean to overstep our bounds, but if she tries to eat him, will you step in?
If you wish me to.
Yes, please.
Lord.
Very well. They have requested that I assume a sexy form and join in. So I'm currently doing that.
Okay, well, if things
so-
get violent, just like stop that from happening.
So
I am
you're already in
present.
there.
Yes.
It's great.
Okay. Good to know,
Really
bud.
great. Really great.
Let's go and figure out what the hell to do with the brothers.
Okay, so she said that thing about that mark being, as we're walking up back to the room,
Being a
about
way
that
that
mark
Oh yeah.
was like some way that she was sharing the steering wheel. Do we need to worry about that with Clay now?
I think that was a direct warning that is what we have to worry about with him, although I don't know who holds the stone now that her father's gone. But it seems that a mark was part of that whole concept, that if you were to receive a mark, then that is perhaps what the purpose was. Oh God, is that how they killed that family? That, remember Jim and Jeff, they had the sister with the mark, and then she burned down the house and killed their parents.
Right.
So if that ghost was actually her, then she might not have done it of her own volition.
It does seem like they were playing God in so many different ways with all those kids.
That is incredibly disturbing. So we just have to make sure that doesn't happen with Clay. I
wonder if we could just skin that part of him. I mean, it would hurt, but maybe it would be a good idea. I mean, I could do it when he's sleeping. I could probably sneak up on him. I don't know if he'll want me to, but
I mean,
we can't take anything for granted.
Rio, you're muted.
As you approach your apartment door, you see the form of Angel leaning against the wall outside of it.
Oh, God. Is she mad at us? I can't remember.
She pushes off from the wall, turns to you and goes, Does fly me to the moon mean anything to you?
It means a lot. Why?
Then I think you've met my father. And that's what will end tonight's session.
Our father!
That fucking bitch.
Yeah, we got help.
Thank you for tuning in, everybody. If you haven't already, shout out to all of our amazing Patreons, Sparky, David Lugo, Daniel. Am I missing anybody?
That's everybody.
Daniel O. Yeah. Thank you so much for being our patrons. We will be posting an after party for tonight's episode on the Patreon if you want to hear all of the current players say what the fuck a lot. Thank you for tuning in. Like us on our social media. Jake is taking over our Twitter account. So it's actually active now. And yeah, thank you for tuning in, and we'll come up with a tagline.
When someone puts this one on Patreon.
Have a nice night, everyone. See you in 2 weeks.
Yes.